Hello gamers and welcome to my updated 2018 game room tour. I've made a few changes to the layout of the game room, got a new sofa, added some stuff to my collection, rearranged a bit, and I thought it was time to get a 2018 game room tour video out of the way before the year is up. So as always, if you're interested in checking out my previous year's tour, I will leave that in the description below. I also did a video on how I made the shelves for my game room. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. So let's get started. We're going to start on the left side here. First thing you'll notice, I actually have a real sofa this year, not a futon. You can also tell that I lofted it, and that's to give me more height underneath for storage. And I built a little surround so that it's not exposed, you're not seeing that. Much more comfortable. Really happy to have that down here. It makes a big difference for extended gaming sessions. So we'll move over to this wall. My bottle opener, my grandpa gave that to me, so I keep that in here for sentimental reasons. I've got my Legend of Zelda posters hanging up. This awesome vinyl clock that my wife bought me this last summer. Really cool. And then shameless promotion. Weekend Rental podcast I'm part of. We're on Google Play and iTunes. Check us out if you haven't already. Coming down, you'll see I've got some box consoles, my Super Nintendo, my Hotel Mario for the Philips CDI, my Mega Man pixel art that I got from the Game Hunters, and Super Scope, Pocket Station for the PlayStation, Atari 5200 box, and then this Atari 2600 box, which is a little beat up, but I got it from a buddy, and I just have a lot of nostalgia for that system because it's the first console I ever had growing up. As we come down looking at the shelves here, I've got all my PS4 games, PS3, which then transitions into PlayStation 2 all the way to the bottom there. Coming across, we've got my very small Xbox One collection, my 360 collection, which I was a huge fan of last gen, and then my original Xbox is the bottom two shelves. So new to the game room this year, I needed a little more storage for games, so I added this shelf behind the couch. It's a little thinner to fit the profile, make it easy to walk, but you can see I've got my Switch games there, Song of the Deep, Funko Pop, some bookends for Little Big Planet, and then my boxes for my classics. And then we've got PlayStation games, original, a few Vita games, a few more Switch, bigger boxes, and then Wii stuff to fill this all in. So I finally have space for all those games that are off the floor or sitting off of someone else's or something else on top of boxes and whatnot. And I have a lot more room to walk this year. So as we come up, I've got my Amiibo collection. Now, I primarily collected Amiibo during the Smash run. Kind of fell out of collecting for them. But here's what I've got. I do like the ones I have. I'm just not crazy about buying new ones. I'll pick up a occasional one here or there, but that's about it. And then that just kind of transitions to some World of Nintendo figures. And some more figures and Amiibo up on top. Got the Metroid ones there. My buddy Andy hooked me up with those. Those are great. So that's just kind of my Amiibo wall, I guess. I think it looks really cool on display. The thing is my game room is more about me being able to get at my games and play them versus displaying knickknacks. But I just really like the way those look. So coming around, we've got my window here with a couple marquees in there. It looks really cool when the sun comes through. They have a little bit of a backlight. Some more knickknacks here. These awesome vintage Nintendo Mario Brothers pins. Some miscellaneous odds and ends. A Game & Watch I picked up this summer. Metroid figures. This really cool Mario 2 glass that I love. Epic Yarn or Mega Yarn Yoshi Amiibo. Coming down, Super Nintendo games. Got some Super Famicom in there as well. Some box, I think amazing. More Super Nintendo. Big box Wii games. Or Wii U, I guess. And then more Wii U games as we come across here. I don't have a full collection of Wii U stuff, but I have the games that I think are good and worth picking up. And then I do have some junk in there too, I guess. GameCube. Again, not a huge collection, but a lot of games in there that I really enjoy. So as we take a step back, next to that is my pride and joy. I'm primarily an NES collector. I was an NES kid. I loved it growing up. So here we've got my Aladdin Deck Enhancer set. Complete sealed collection. Picked that up at Midwest Gaming Classic last year. Really happy to have that. Famicom, a couple Super Nintendo games, some box Famicom, and then a Famicom Disk System game, just because I think it was cool, so I picked it up. It looks good on display. Again, here's my Nintendo collection. I'm right around like 470-ish in games. A lot of expensive ones left, fair amount of common ones, some box stuff, miscellaneous accessories, some weird arcade sticks, and then my very small stack of N64 games. I'm not a big fan of the 64, so those are just kind of like the first party titles that I think are worth hanging on to. I really don't play the 64 much. I sold off a lot of what I had. Some miscellaneous stuff in between these shelves. And then as we come around, big box Arkanoid, a lot of boxed weird joysticks and accessories for the NES. And here's another part of my collection that I love, my Atari Jaguar. I do have one complete in boxed controller, some other Atari boxed controllers, 2600 and 5200. A boxed Mario Brothers for the 5200, a couple of figures, and then my games for the Atari Jaguar. Big fan of that system. It's really weird. It's not that great, but it's cool to collect for. I got an Ardu Boy there, the Ardu Venture Edition, a Game Boy Micro, Neo Geo Pocket, and then Wonder Swan games. These are my boxed games. I do have a bunch of loose ones also. And then my regular old Wonder Swan, not the color, just the original version. Coming down, Dreamcast games. And we're getting into Saturn here. I've been playing a lot more Saturn lately because my buddy Scott hooked me up with a Action Replay. So I've been playing a lot of imports. You can see I picked up a good stack of those at MGC last year. We've got Genesis stuff here, and all along below, my meager Master System collection. Power Base Mini for that. More Genesis stuff. My humble Turbografx collection. Another system that I absolutely love. I do have a bunch of loose Hue cards right in the corner here. Some 3DO games, a couple tabletop games, and more 3DO. So that's kind of the collect-all shelf for anything that just doesn't fit in with the rest of the collection. And then coming across, we've got 2 boxes for the original NES, the action set, a Combat Tribes Marquee, box controllers, and an NES sports set. I actually managed to pick up a couple other box consoles this year. I just didn't have room to display them. Coming down, my television that I have in here. This is the one area that I need to update. This TV is not great. I do need to get a tube TV in here too. Working on that. I just haven't had a lot of time to game down here, sadly, in the last year. Some pixel art that my daughter made, and then we've got my system. So we got the 2 classics I have in the carrying cases. We've got the Switch, NES Top Loader, Retron 5, which is kind of just a convenience piece. I've been using it a lot less. I think I'm going to probably get rid of that in the near future. GameCube, PS2 Slim. Wii, on top of this, it's going to be a little hard to see, is a PlayStation TV. Turbografx, Panasonic 3DO, Atari Jaguar, Neo Geo X Gold. The shame, I know, the shame. Sega Saturn, Dreamcast Sports Edition, Xbox 360, Xbox One, original Xbox, and way in the corner is my N64. Tucked away because that's where it belongs, in my opinion. Link figure here off to the side, and then another new addition to the game room. We'll get to that in a minute, but we've got my Power Glove. I picked this up in the last year also. My Virtual Boy, this little arcade sign, and then controllers and a stack of games. I think I've got about half the library for the Virtual Boy. And then a recent pickup, because it just came out, is this Arcade 1-Up Rampage cabinet. We're having a lot of fun. Me and my kids play quite a bit. They're not perfect, I know. Reviews are mixed. I'm happy with the purchase. Little knickknacks here. And then what I did, instead of buying the base that they sell, is I took 2 of these cube shelf things and I put it underneath. That way it gives me the height I need so I can play at it standing up. And I've got storage underneath, so I've got a lot of controllers because this is too deep. I can pull these out and get back in there. I've got this Guys, Games, and Beer caddy. Check them out, guysgamesandbeer.net. And I put my handhelds in there. Couple books, couple Nintendo Powers. This tote has some accessories and all of my Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, and Neo Geo Pocket, as well as WonderSwan games in there. So, my sofa, as you can see, not too huge, but like I mentioned, I have it lofted. So, I've got these bins under here that I fill with controllers and all the accessories I need. They slide conveniently away, along with some other accessories. Keeps things very handy. Oh, I also added this turbo stick for the Turbografx in the last year. Really happy with that. But all in all, that is my entire game room. Some really good new additions, a lot of box stuff that I picked up this year. A lot of it I couldn't even fit in the room. But this is where my game room is at in 2018. And I'm actually really happy with it. I feel like it's a little more spacious, a little more comfortable for gaming than it was the previous years. So, as always, thank you for watching. If you have any questions on any part of my collection, just leave a comment. And I'll talk to you guys next time.